What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and today I want to talk about intermittent fasting for building size. Most people traditionally will use this strategy for losing weight because it helps restrict your calories much easier. However, I do believe it is a viable method for building mass, and I'm going to explain how in this video. All right, but first, let's talk about what intermittent fasting actually is. Intermittent, not steady or consistent, and then fasting, abstaining from all food. All right, so essentially with intermittent fasting, what we're trying to do is spend more time in a fasted state and less time in a fed state. And there are some benefits that I'm going to discuss here. And so let's kind of go through some questions you might have. So first one being, what about growth hormone? Okay, a lot of people will preach about the increases in growth hormone from fasting, and the fact of the matter is that acute increases in things like growth hormone or testosterone make no physiological difference in terms of building muscle or burning fat. Even guys who, for example, will inject ridiculous amounts of growth hormone for the resting levels to be higher, still see no difference in building muscle or burning fat unless, of course, they're taking other drugs with it. All right, so acute increases basically insignificant in terms of building muscle or burning fat. All right, now increased insulin sensitivity. That's a good one because what's happening here is essentially when we are in a fed state, we are kind of reducing the amount of body fat or dietary fat that we can burn from exercise. Okay, so if you're training in a fasted state, you are going to burn more fat during your workout than someone who is in a fed state. And if you are someone who's eating in a caloric surplus, even though you are going to be ultimately gaining weight, this may help you stay leaner longer while you are in this overfeeding phase. All right. So now let's kind of talk about a few ways you can use intermittent fasting, right? One way would be the traditional way, which is basically to fast for 16 hours and then give yourself an 8-hour window where you can consume your calories, okay? You can fast longer. Longer fasts, in my opinion, are not going to be too helpful for someone who's trying to build muscle. However, the shorter fast, about 16 hours, could be very beneficial. But that's something that you're gonna have to test. So for example, if you wanted to fast for 20 hours, then you would say eat from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then not again until 4 p.m. the next day. On a regular 16-hour fast with 8-hour feeding window, you might fast till about noon, eat till 8 p.m., and then fast again till noon the next day. All right, so that's basically how you can structure it. Obviously, you can eat earlier and then start your fast a bit earlier as well. That's completely up to you. However, consider if you are someone who trains in the morning, the increased insulin sensitivity that will come from training in a fasted state. Now, something to consider with that is that if your performance is taking a hit because you are training fasted, then it's not going to make up for the faster fat loss or the prolonged bulk, simply because when we are bulking, we want to build muscle, which means we want to get stronger. And if we're not getting stronger, it doesn't matter what we're doing in terms of nutrition, we're not going to grow. So take that into consideration as well. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is how you can utilize intermittent fasting to kind of bulk up while staying lean. We talked about the increased insulin sensitivity if you decide you can train fasted and still make progress in the gym. But also for guys who are bulking for a prolonged period of time, they're kind of at the phase where they're a lot bigger, but they're not as lean, and so they kind of have that fuck it mentality, and they kind of just go into a dirty bulk, and they just get fatter faster. And so what that does is reduces the amount of time that they're spending building muscle, right? So if we want to prolong our bulk, right? So build or take more time where we're actually building muscle, then intermittent fasting could be a good tool to stay away from, or kind of not go overboard when we are in that kind of fuck it mentality, right? So if you're someone who has a big appetite and you have to consume 3,000 calories a day, and you're knocking out those 3,000 calories in the first 4 hours of the day or 6 hours of the day, and you're still hungry and you're just eating more and more because fuck it, you're on a bulk, right? What's gonna happen obviously is that surplus is gonna be bigger, and so you are going to gain fat faster. Not to mention, the fatter you get, you're kind of messing up the nutrient partitioning, and you're not going to be as efficient with building muscle, and it becomes just this shit fest, right? So you just become fatter, faster, build less muscle, and spend less time building muscle, period. All right? So the intermittent fasting can actually help you abstain from overdoing the bulk, all right? Now, if you are someone who is naturally skinny, finds it hard to consume enough calories, typically I would say this is not for you. However, on a shorter fast, maybe about 16 hours, this could potentially help you, simply because if you're fasting for a prolonged period of time, again 16 hours, by the time you're ready to eat, you will be hungry, and you will be able to put away a lot more food than you would have if you had been kind of just force feeding yourself throughout the day. So take somebody who wakes up, starts pounding down protein shakes and stuffing their face, but they are force feeding themselves. So they're not actually hungry while they're doing this. They're kind of forcing the calories in. They are not typically going to be able to get a lot of calories in per meal, and they're going to be stressed out while doing it anyways. Now, if you were to fast, right, you might be able to get 1,200 calories in one sitting, just because you are so hungry from not eating for so long. And this is going to make it, one, more enjoyable, but two, it's going to give you a big jump start on your calories for the day. So if you are a naturally skinny guy with no appetite, I typically would say stay away from it. But in some cases, for some people, it can actually help. So it's something that you might actually want to try and see if that actually helps you eat more rather than hurts you. All right. So those are the two kind of ways you can use intermittent fasting. Another way that you can use it, particularly for naturally skinny guys who again find it hard to get enough calories, is instead of having a cutoff point, just kind of eat until you hit your calories and then begin your fast and push breakfast back as far as possible, maybe till noon, maybe till 1 or 2, and then start eating. And don't necessarily have a cutoff point. Just eat until you've reached those calories, and then fast again. Again, fasting in the morning just to get that appetite up and get a good jump start on your calories for the day. All right, and then going back to the first example, someone with a big appetite, this will help you stay lean longer by restricting you or helping you abstain from eating during your overfeeding phase. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions in regards to this video, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, make sure to click the like button below, subscribe for more, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.